let's talk about that. Okay, let's just pretend you look. Okay, look in the camera. You got to put the camera on it. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
No, say I'm 22. Just got out of college.
Yes.
I got a good job. I'm making 100 grand a year, 150 grand a year. Out of college, I got a good job. What do I do to start building wealth? Let's say I want to be have a couple of million, or say 2 or 3 million by the time I turn 45. I'm 25 now. That's 20 years. What do you do?
Mental toughness. Got challenges that you're gonna run across.
Welcome to another episode of Elite Psyche.
I got a house already.
You know about Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett been in his house for years.
We don't need another house. No.
Yeah. But you got a real house, though. You wouldn't got a mansion, man.
Planted the seed in my mind. So, I was on Facebook, just scrolling on Facebook, and I saw this house on Facebook. I'm like, man, this is beautiful. Like, hey. So I DM'd the real estate agent. I said, listen, is this house still available? She said, yeah, it is. There's an offer on it. I'm like, okay. She said, would you like to see it? I said, sure. She said, all right. I said, right now there's an offer. Can we go see other houses? Because she uses it in marketing. She's good. So I said, sure, we'll go look at other houses. And we came back. I said, man, I really like the house. It's beautiful. She said, well, there's an offer. The guy really likes it. Him and his wife want it, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, when they change their mind, call me. She said, I don't think they're going to change their mind. I said, okay, whatever. When they change their mind, call me. I said, that's my house. I told my wife, I said, listen, that's the house I want. She said, all right, whatever. The other ones are still available. I said, well, maybe, they're not for me. I don't feel it. Guess what? The next day, man, at 6 a.m., the woman sent me a message. Hey, Douglas, her client changed his mind.
Wow.
He's like, the house is too far from the highway, 5 miles from the highway. I said, yeah, that's not his house. I said, let's go.
It's your house.
It's my house. And guess what? We closed in less than 3 weeks. And I didn't put any, he didn't want to do an inspection. I did an inspection. And still got the lady, the owner of the house back then, to give me $100,000 towards closing costs. $100,000 in a seller's market where everybody's overbidding for property. I'm getting you to give me money for your property.
Wow.
And I got what I wanted, and here we are. And then I spent some more money to make it the way I wanted it.
Yeah. So you put marble floors in there?
Man, I changed up the house, man. And spent some money on that. And that's why I teach about cash value insurance and all that stuff, because I've used it for a lot of things, and just teaching people a different way of thinking about money and what they could do with it. So
let's talk about that. Okay, let's just pretend you look. Okay, look in the camera. You got to put the camera on it. All right. Yeah. So I'm 20 years old. Yeah. No, say I'm 22. Just got out of college.
Yes.
I got a good job. I'm making 100 grand a year, 150 grand a year. Out of college, I got a good job. What do I do to start building wealth? Let's say I want to have a couple of million, or say 2 or 3 million by the time I turn 45. I'm 25 now. That's 20 years. What do you do?
So you just start saving money. Start saving money, stacking up your money. There's no rush. Start stacking up your money and start educating yourself about finance, financial literacy. Find a good mentor and start learning. One thing I did once I started making money, I wanted to buy a house like everybody else. I wanted to jump into the real estate game, all that. And I was in the financial service. I was already in the insurance business. I got my securities license. So I'm doing well in the business. And I wanted to buy a house. And my mentor that I called and asked, and when I say mentors, that I mean people that are making a whole lot of money. That you know, because some people when you want to get at their attention, you gotta pay them to be in the room with them, right? And authentic people, not people that just want to get your money, because there's a lot of folks that are fake, you know, they just want to get your money. But I've known this person for a long time. I've seen how he does his thing, and he's real. So I asked him, I said, listen, I'm thinking about buying a house. What do you think? You know, what should you? And he said, you know, but why do you want to buy a house? I said, well, because, you know, I want to have the American dream and all that. He said, but what are you putting money in right now? Where's your money? Now, remember, I'm in the insurance business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sell life insurance, I'm selling mutual funds, all these things. And I said, well, you know, I have some money in the bank and all this stuff. He said, well, you should put more money in your life insurance policy. Why don't you have, how much are you putting in your insurance policy? Back then, I was only doing like $150 a month, $250. I think I was doing something.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, you should put a lot of money in your insurance policy. Start that money up first in that. I'm like, really? He said, you should get cash value insurance. I'm like, oh. And I said, I listened. I started putting money. He said, how much is the way he broke it down, he said, how much are you paying in rent right now? And back then, I was in an apartment, I was paying like $1,500 a month. He said, okay, if you buy this house, how much would your mortgage payment be? I said, give and take maybe about $2,000, you know, because of the kind of house I was looking at back then, $2,000. He said, oh, okay. He said, so you're going to go from 1,500 to 2,000. He said, that's just the rent for the, he said, your new landlord is the bank. He said, we're not even talking about taxes and insurance. He said, you're not paying taxes right now. I said, no. Insurance, are you paying? I said, yeah, I pay a little bit insurance. Okay, it's not going to be this, it's going to be more than what you're paying in your apartment. You're going to pay a little bit more. He said, now you're responsible for everything. Plumbing, utilities, all this stuff. So you got to add up all that. So when I added up, came out to almost, you know, $2,500 to $2,800.
$1,000 more. Yeah, more than that. Yeah. He
said, Douglas, what I would advise you to do if I was in your shoe. I'm like, but you got properties everywhere. He's like, just listen to me. If I was in your shoe, I'll take that extra $1,000 and start sticking in life insurance, cash value life insurance. I'm like, really? I said, all right, I'll do it. He said, just do it and you see what happens. And guess what? I started doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got, I built up enough cash in there and I bought my first house, borrowing from it. And one thing he also told me, he said, do not buy anything you cannot afford to pay monthly. And if you can, don't put anything down. Don't put nothing down. 100% finance it for 100%. They have that, do that. Just put down only closing costs money. Don't give them more. Don't buy it down interest rate. I'm like, really? He said, yeah. He said, just do. It's all right, cool. That's all I did. So I bought my house though.
Mm-hmm.
When the market was about to go up in 2016. So, but remember back then, no loan document, you know, whatever.
Yeah, anything, anybody could get it.
Everybody.
Yeah.
So, and my credit, I didn't understand credit game. So my credit was high. It was bad too. It wasn't the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you know, and that time we don't, because you're not showing any income. Because again, you're 1099. You know, you ain't getting.
Yeah. Right.
So I bought the house. My mortgage, it was a $581,000 property.
But wait a minute. Let's back up a little bit. You borrowed money from your cash value insurance.
Yes, just for the down payment, for like the closing cost and all the other stuff. I financed everything else.
So what's the point about? First of all, talk to us about cash value and insurance, because most people don't know what that means. But what's the point of borrowing from that instead of just, you know, getting it from somewhere else? What's the point of borrowing from your insurance?
So the whole idea that he was teaching me was the money I have sitting in a bank, I'm only using one time. He said, Douglas, when you save money, let's say you save up $10,000. Let's say it took you 10 months to save up $10,000 for this down payment on this house. What's going to happen is in your savings account at your local bank, you're going to go in, take the $10,000 and put it on a down payment on the house. Now, how much money you got? I'm like, zero. So, okay. So first of all, it took you 10 months to save up $10,000, and you didn't even earn a single penny in interest on it because it's going into a bank account that you're not getting any interest, maybe 0.some%. So you didn't make no money. Then you're going to take that 10,000 and stick it in a house that you're not even making any interest on either. And now you're back to zero. So to save up another 10,000, it's going to take you what? Another 10 months. Time value of money. Now you're 10 months older. He's like, but if you do the same thing and put it in life insurance, if you need to borrow 10,000 and you have the money already, the insurance company will loan you their money. And then you use their money to put on a down payment on that property. While your 10,000 continues to earn interest because you didn't take your money, you took the insurance company's money.
Right.
And yours is still growing. You're still earning interest. So 10 months in the future, when you pay off the insurance company, yours is grown by whatever the interest rate plus all the other additional money you've been adding for the next 10 months. So if you're adding that's 20 grand.
Anybody listening to this need to run it back and hear him again what he just said and run it back again, because he just made a lot of sense that a lot of people don't get. They kind of think. Now here's my question. Somebody comes to you, get a policy, or somebody with your group. How much cash value is already in there once they buy it? I mean, do you have to build it up with?
Beautiful question. So here's how I break that down for people. I'm like, when you buy life insurance, it's like buying a brand new house. So think about it. If I buy a brand new house, new build, not an old house, new house, there's no equity in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no equity. You're just starting from scratch. Every house is the same. Mm-hmm. So there's no equity. It's going to take a while to build up the equity. Same way with life insurance. Now, with life insurance, the difference, though, is this. There's a payment, just like a mortgage. So let's use $100,000 life insurance and $100,000 mortgage. Let's take the same amount, $1,000 a month, which we know $100,000 life insurance is not going to cost you $1,000 a month. It might be less, but I'm going to keep everything the same.
Okay.
So out of that $1,000, $500 is going to go to the bank as interest. The other $500 goes towards the principal to build up the equity in that house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then human nature, you can make extra payment on your mortgage to pay off the house quicker, which a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another conversation.
Yeah, you can put that somewhere else. Go ahead. Yeah.
But with life insurance, same thing. You pay $1,000, $500 goes to the insurance company for them protecting your life in case you die.
Mm-hmm.
The other $500, the insurance company pays you interest on the money. So you're building equity just like a house. Now, if you choose to, you can make extra payment on that. So it's not making extra payment.
Let's put more money in the, like the guy said, put more money in your insurance. Okay.
Yes, it starts building the equity a lot faster.
So even though you were selling this, nobody told you to do that, what he said?
No, because we get our education from somebody that don't even know themselves.
I got you.
Because everybody's getting information from the media. See, I decided to step outside the box because I got sick and tired of seeing people work hard, do everything correctly, and then they reach 65, they're still working at McDonald's, Walmart.
Right.
I actually went up to a guy in Walmart, sharp-looking guy, white guy, but he's working at Walmart. He's 70 years old. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I said, man, what happened? And he said, man, he said, I took him to lunch. I said, can I buy you lunch? He said, sure. So I bought him lunch. Nobody ever turns down lunch, especially if you're paying for it.
Right.
So I sat down and paid, we went to lunch, we ate, and we started talking. I said, man, I just have a question for you, so what kind of work did you do before? And he told me, man, he was an executive. He did this because he used to be young just like me.
You're right.
I'm like, so why are you working at Walmart? He's like, man, I wish I could tell all these young people to make sure they have their money right. He's like, I did everything. I put money in the retirement plan. The company that I work for didn't have a pension. I did everything, but I ran out of money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you could run out of money at retirement? He's like,
Right.
yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. So I thought about that. I'm like, but you were doing 401k, you were doing all these things. He's like, it's like, but the fluctuation. He said, nobody taught me about, I just did what my coworkers do.
Mm-hmm.
My coworkers say, put money here, I put money there. I didn't know nothing about 401k. So I'm like, man, this information is not right. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start studying wealthy people. Let me see what wealthy families are doing, because they're not doing everything everybody is doing. Because why are they driving Cadillac and limos and flying and going on cruises, enjoying their life?
Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit the all button and all that kind of stuff, because we're going to have a lot of good interviews on this podcast.